Hello Nigeria, welcome to Newsline. I am Becky Madujemu. By now you must have noticed that the NTA stands against rape, officially for that matter. The launch of a project to give hope to victims validates our campaign against this crime. The highlights of the inauguration and how we plan to achieve the objectives to which the project was set up will be brought to you. We have updates on some crime stories started on Newsline. Tonight, we return to the man whose father chained him down for 7 years, as well as a new angle to the allegation of rape against a blind man. Then, an intriguing occurrence of multiple births in Abuja. You are going to scream when that report comes on. Meanwhile, let's watch the news. Reading tonight is Claire Adilabu Abdurazak. There you go, Claire.
Hello, Becky. And yes, indeed, we make no pretense about our stand against rape and rapists. Hello, thanks for joining me here in Abuja. Here is the news. And President Muhammadu Buhari has formally engaged presiding officers of the National Assembly towards ensuring that the genuine demands of the End SARS protesters are addressed expeditiously. State House correspondent Adam Musambo reports that the meeting, however, expressed the worry over the accompanying violence to the protest in parts of the country, adding that the time has come to give government a chance to deliver on its promises.
The End SARS protest, which entered day 11 in parts of the country, is without doubt a trying moment for Nigeria and indeed its leadership. This is more so because violence has now been introduced to the somewhat peaceful agitation by the youth, indicating that the protesters might have lost control of the initiative. Senate President Ahmed Lawan and Speaker Femi Bajabiamila are here to critically analyze the situation with President Muhammadu Buhari and see what can be done urgently towards restoring order. After the meeting, which lasted about 1 hour 40 minutes, both the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, and Speaker Femi Bajabiamila reassured Nigerians, especially the youth, that President Muhammadu Buhari has their interests at heart and is indeed committed to the sustainable future of the country.
The essence of coming to meet Mr. President is to review the situation and see the roles that the two arms of government should play in ensuring that the demands of the protesters, the 5-point demands, are properly addressed. Where legislative intervention will be required, we are ready to move in and deal with such expeditiously to ensure that we don't waste any time, so that we address the concerns of our youth. Where the executive role is expected, we are sure that the executive will also expedite action, and we will be watching to ensure that such demands are properly met.
And I can assure you that there is no bigger Democrat than Mr. President. He gave us a listening ear that the same as he's always given Nigerians for the first time in history. Don't forget his background. He accepted absolutely everything that Nigerians asked for. It's the first time in history that, because I've heard this story that, we've had NSARS, 4 times before in our past, and that's what people are saying. And like I say, this is the first time you haven't heard it from Mr. President. You've never heard it from Mr. President, but now he said so. So let us tarry a little while, give it a couple of weeks, and see what happens.
The presiding officers of the National Assembly therefore pleaded with the Nigerian youth to end the protest now in the greater interest of all.
The protests have already yielded the desired results. First of all, they say end SARS. That was the beginning. SARS was ended not by the IGP. SARS was ended by the president himself. The president, President Muhammadu Buhari, made a statement, a presidential statement, and that will be the first time that any president will say end SARS. And SARS has ended. When you try to stop everybody from engaging in their lawful businesses, closing roads to markets and other economic places, we distract the economy of the country, and that is not the best way to go. Other Nigerians have legitimate rights to go on their lawful businesses without let or hindrance, and we cannot have that when the roads are blocked. So we don't want a situation where there will be a degeneration of law and order because somebody is blocked and he feels he must have his way. So we believe that withdrawing from this process at this moment is the right thing to do. Meanwhile, give us the opportunity to deal with matters that we have, as a government, agreed to handle.
I don't want our youth to lose the plot. They've done so well in terms of expressing their grievances. And the important thing is that government has heard you loud and clear. It's unfortunate what happened to the Osun State governor. And this is where, I say we begin to lose the plot. We should not allow people to infiltrate what otherwise is a good cause. For whatever it's worth, trust government in what it has done now. It has ended SARS. Nobody can argue that. SARS is ended. It's apparently a police code anywhere in the world that you don't leave a vacuum. It has to be filled. And that's why they came up with SWAT. It's a complete departure from the way SARS was meant to operate. Let us remain focused. Let us stay on track. And the way to stay on track is to work with government.
Senate President Ahmed Lawan and Speaker Femi Bajabiamila assured Nigerians that everyone is on the same page in this onerous task of achieving the desired policing with pride, trust, and integrity. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And in Osun, the state government is to set up a judicial panel of inquiry in line with Vice President Oshibajo's directive to investigate all related cases of abuse and brutality by the disbanded SARS, and also investigate the death of 2 protesters in Osogbo on Saturday. Governor Yetola stated this in his statewide broadcast this Sunday, where he appealed for calm. Here is Femi Afariogun with the rest of the story.
In a statewide broadcast, Governor Yetola maintained that the 2 deaths recorded were not during the attack on him. One death, he said, occurred prior to his arrival to address the protesters, while the second death occurred about 5 kilometers from the scene of the protest.
The investigation revealed that the commando style which with the assailants carry out the attack leaves no one in doubt that it was deliberate and pre-planned. However, not the genuine protesters resorted to violence. And the preliminary investigation further revealed that no live bullet was fired at the rampaging political talks. Not even one canister of tear gas was fired.
He assured the people that his government will continue to protect their lives and property.
We shall be setting up a judicial panel of inquiry in line with the directive of the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo to investigate all related cases of abuse and brutality by the disbanded SARS. This panel will also be investigating yesterday's attack.
The suspected hoodlums also attacked shops at Osun Mall, cutting away goods worth millions of naira in Osogbo. Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
In Jos, Governor Simon Lalong has constituted a judicial panel on police brutality and other related extrajudicial killings in the state to be led by retired judge of the Plateau State High Court, Justice Philomena Lot. The panel of inquiry is to investigate complaints of police brutality and related extrajudicial killings with a view to delivering justice for all victims of the dissolved Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, and other police units. This is in line with the recommendation of the National Economic Council for the establishment of state-based judicial panels of inquiry by governors to hear complaints and ensure accountability in the operations of police units in their respective states. The committee is expected to carry out its assignment within 6 months and submit its report. The governor, however, denied allegation that northern governors want the return of the scrapped Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS. Now, various groups have also called for an end to the ongoing peaceful protests demanding police reforms for fear of infiltration by rogue elements, as well as allow government to respond to their concerns. The calls are compiled in our next report.
Director General of the Progressive Governors Forum, Salihu Muhammad Lukman, says the NSAS protest by young people presents an opportunity in light of the 2023 election, urging the youth to occupy leadership positions. The Center for Ethical Rebirth among Nigerian youth, while associating itself with what it terms a patriotic resolve, advocating an end to police brutality and other human rights violations, raises concern about the demonstration being infiltrated by rogue elements if it persists. The group therefore proposes an end to the protest with a view to convening a National Youth Leaders Conference to further deliberate on demands. Sereni equally commends President Muhammadu Buhari for showing exemplary leadership. Meanwhile, the Coalition for Democracy has urged NSAS protesters in Nigeria to focus on the theme of the campaign of reforming the Nigeria police force so as not to allow subversive elements hijack the protest. The president of the coalition, Comrade Samson Atawodi, says since President Muhammadu Buhari has signed into law the Nigeria Police Bill 2020, this is the right time for citizens to push for the implementation of the reforms which formed the original theme of the NSAS protest.
And despite the FCT administration's ban on any form of street protests in the territory due to concerns of COVID-19 pandemic spread, the NSAS protest has continued in different parts of the capital city. In our next report, Ilyasu Unoto gives us an update on the situation.
The protesters were coordinated into syndicates across the territory. From the central area through the Unity Fountain, Airport Road, Lugbe to access the City Gate and Gwarimpa Galadima access, they march as they move towards the Central Business District, which is the final destination for the day. Attendance at the Unity Fountain as at late noon was, however, low. At the Ministry of Women Affairs, protesters who converged to march towards the Louis-Edet House Force headquarters were cordoned off by a detachment of anti-riot police operatives. But they sang, they danced, and they rested. They later left to another location. The Ademola Adetokunbo Ibrahim Babangida Crescent in Wuse 2 provided a free route for another group which occupied the way from the NNPC towers through the Defense College to the International Conference Center. Being a Sunday, the action did not build up heavy traffic, making it easy for motorists to either turn or meander through. In Abuja, Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
And the national president of the National Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, Comrade Williams Eniredo Nana Akburea, says NUPENG stands with the Nigerian youth against police brutality and immediate and far-reaching police reforms, as its members have also been victims of police brutality and abuses. Regardless, NUPENG says none of its organs has ordered shutting down of fuel stations or oil installations. A statement jointly signed by NUPENG says the news trending on the social media that the union will partake in a nationwide strike is fake and not true. The union urges the public to disregard the news meant to overheat the polity. It says the union empathizes with all victims of police brutality, including its members across the country, adding that NUPENG peacefully joins all well-meaning Nigerians to say police brutality must stop. And the Inspector General of Police, IGP Mohammed Adamu, has reaffirmed that the new police tactical team will operate within very high professional ethical standards, rule of law, and dictates of best international policing practices. A statement by the force Public Relations Officer DCP Frank Mba says no personnel of the defunct Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, will be absorbed into the new tactical team. He notes that officers selected for the training are young, smart, and energetic, who have acquired not less than 7 years working experience with clean service records. The IGP seeks the cooperation of citizens in the ongoing development drive for a new and reformed Nigeria Police Force. Now, January 1, 2021 has been set for the inauguration of the Lagos-Ibadan Standard Gauge Red Line. Minister of Transportation Chibike Rotimi Amechi made this known at the monthly inspection tour. Our correspondent, Unyinaya Kalu Oka, tells us more. We do apologize for that. We'll bring you that story as soon as we're able to resolve the issues with it. Now, let's look at other stories now. Back to Lagos. Relief to motorists plying Lagos Island access. I'm told it's just a few hours away from now, as the first phase of repair works on Echo and Marine Beach bridges are completed and will be reopened to traffic on Monday. Lynn Leneke reports that the reopening was approved by the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola.
Since March 2020, the Echo and Marine Beach bridges were closed to motorists for urgent repairs. Specification of rehabilitation was the replacement of bearings and expansion joints. These have been carried out on the affected areas on the two bridges and completed, with the removal of barricades by midnight Sunday, signaling the reopening of the two bridges to traffic as directed by the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola. Gridlock brought about by the closure of Third Mainland Bridge will be relatively eased.
We can see the benefits of infrastructure amenities. The road is accessible now. At least you can easily apply it to the island anywhere you want to go to.
I'm so happy about that. At least all those gallops, all those bombs and all that, at least they have removed it.
This government we are working with now is trying as much as possible, because they do things according to how people need it.
Work is expected to commence on the Alaka-bound side of the project immediately. In Lagos, Lynn Leneke, NTA News.
Earlier, we told you that January 1, 2020 has been set for inauguration of the Lagos-Ibadan standard gauge rail line. Our correspondent in Naya, Kalu Oka, will tell us all about it in this report. Kalu Oka.
Excitement in the air for the people of Lagos, Ogun and Oyo states, with the rail line coming alive. The 156 kilometers Lagos-Ibadan standard gauge rail line is 80% completed. With the laying of tracks completed, the 10 major and minor stations along the corridor are at various stages of completion. At every stop for inspection, Minister of Transportation Chibike Rotimi Amechi was impressed with the pace of work.
The only two stations we are not too happy with them will be Tokonanto and Abeokuta. So out of 10 or so, you can see that huge improvement in the rest 8.
At the Ebute Meta Mega Station, which is expected to be one of the largest stations in West Africa, with a holding capacity of 6,000 passengers daily, the minister disclosed that President Buhari is expected to inaugurate the rail line by January 1st, 2021.
1st of January, President coming.
This is achievable from what I have seen thus far. We have the smaller stations that are going to be completed at the end of this October.
The Lagos-Ibadan rail line, when completed, will be instrumental to further growth in commercial activities in towns along the corridor.
It's quite impressive from the last time we came here. There has been improved progress here.
By November, we will be able to commence train so that people will enjoy the benefit of having the Ibadan-Lagos train.
And to, in fact, fast-track the congestion in the port.
The Lagos-Ibadan standard gauge rail line is connecting 3 states of the western parts of the country. Oyina Kaloka, NTA News.
And in other stories now, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has refuted reports in a section of the media alleging that it paid bribe to the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, and provided funds for the All Progressives Congress, APC, to buy votes in the just concluded Ondo State gubernatorial election. A statement by the Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Dr. Kenny Obatiro, described the reports as mischievous and contrived allegations without any substance in truth, only designed to serve the selfish ends of their sponsors to bring NNPC to disrepute and tarnish the corporation's image. On the alleged bribe or COVID-19 palliative to NANS, NNPC explained that it neither honored a letter from NANS requesting for financial support to enable the association provide palliatives to students who were stranded at various schools during the lockdown, nor provided funds to support any political party. It urged members of the public to discountenance those reports. And the Nigerian Army has launched a military exercise codenamed Crocodile Smile 5 at the Nigerian Army Super Ngamdu, Borno State. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa highlights the objectives and scope of the exercise.
Lieutenant General Tuku Buratai, the Chief of Army Staff in Gonorigorji in Borno State, inspecting platforms deployed for Operation Crocodile Smile 6. Exercise Crocodile Smile 6, a real-time military operation, is part of the Nigerian Army's aid to the civil authority that targets emerging crime.
It will include cyber warfare exercises designed to identify, track, and counter negative propaganda in the social media and across the cyberspace. It will also include a positive identification component to identify Boko Haram terrorists fleeing from the northeast to other parts of the country as a result of ongoing operations, as well as other criminal elements in other regions of the country.
The exercise that includes civil-military relations component like medical outreach, humanitarian assistance to the widows of the fallen heroes will commence on the 20th October and last till 31st December 2020.
The exercise is also planned to include the conduct of cybersecurity awareness seminars, detect and neutralize malicious posts, fake news, illegal recruitment scam, and internet hackers.
The exercise will hold simultaneously in all army units and formations across the country. This is to improve public safety and security, particularly this embark period. From the Nigerian Army Super Camp in Ngamdu, Borno State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And the Directorate of Defense Media Operations, DMO, says the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole has neutralized several Islamic State of West African province elements and destroyed their hideouts at Tudun Wolgo and Tubum Guinea on the fringes of Lake Chad in Borno State. In a statement, coordinator of the DMO, Major General John Eneche, explains that this was achieved through air strikes as part of a new subsidiary operation tagged Water Tapki, after a series of aerial surveillance missions had indicated that the two locations were being used as staging areas where some ISWAP leaders and their fighter planned and launched attacks. Following this confirmation, the Air Task Force dispatched Nigerian Air Force fighter jets and helicopter gunships to engage the two locations, scoring accurate hits on the target areas, destroying some structures and neutralizing several of the terrorists. And Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Omara Zulum has declared Monday, October the 19th as a day for second round of statewide fasting and prayers to restore total peace to the state. The declaration followed separate meetings the governor held with leadership of Muslim and Christian followers in the state. Here is Mohammed Goni with the rest of the report.
Professor Bagana Umarafu appreciated the leadership of both Muslim and Christian people and the teeming populace in the state for their continuous support and prayers since assumption of office. Also noted improvement in the security situation since the first fasting and prayer session held. He therefore expressed the need to intensify fasting and prayers for an end to Boko Haram and other criminalities and for enduring peace to Borno, Northeast and the country as a whole.
Both the Muslim faith groups as well as the Christians have answered my call for prayers and for fastings, for which we have also noticed it has been shown in televisions, social media and others.
The governor, who stressed the need to resettle the IDPs in their ancestral homes to enable them return to their means of livelihood, also noted hunger and starvation among the IDPs and those in the host communities, adding that dependence on food aid is not sustainable as donor fatigue has already set in. Chief Imam of Borno, Laisu Ibrahim Ahmed, and the state chairman of Khan, Bishop William Naga, appreciated the governor for his passion and commitment to addressing the lingering security challenges, assuring him of readiness of all for prayers and fasting for peace to reign in the state and the country as a whole.
Believing that things are turning into better in our states, is seeing the zeal
and the courage you have to bring peace back to Borno.
It will be recalled that Governor Bagana Omara had in February this year declared a statewide fasting and prayers for an end to the Boko Haram crisis, which has been bedeviling the state in the last 11 years. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
And on the foreign scene, voters in Guinea are now awaiting the outcome of a presidential election which took place in all 8 provinces of that country. Our correspondent Nnamdi Odipo has a situation report for us from Conakry, the country's capital city.
From wherever you view this city, you get the sense of a crowded peninsula perched on the edge of the Atlantic. And even on election day, that vibe hardly changes as the narrow and mostly cramped streets of Conakry awaken. Right on time, voters began to cast their ballots as the polls got underway. So, bien passé? Everything went well and peacefully. Everything went well. The peace will continue even after the election. Though voter turnout is not clear at the moment, the vote in Conakry is crucial to the election as the city is second in line with 19% of the total registered voters in all 8 provinces of Guinea. As voting ended within the specified time frame, the news of relative calm and peace began to boost confidence in the process.
Portanto, temos plena confiança em como as eleições serão efetivamente livres e transparentes.
So we are confident that the elections were free and transparent.
A group like the ECOWAS election mission is already collaborating with other civil society organizations and international observer missions to ensure the integrity of the process. And for sure, it won't only be Guinea's registered 5.4 million voters or its 13 million population that will be waiting for the curtain to fall on this election. West Africa, and indeed the world is waiting. In Conakry, Nnamdi Odipo, NTA News.
We'll continue to keep an eye on that. Now back home, President Muhammadu Buhari has described former military head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, as a gallant patriot whose commitment to national unity is beyond comparison in the annals of Nigeria's checkered history. In a statement issued to mark the 86th birthday of the elder statesman, President Buhari remarked on the role General Yakubu Gowon played in our political history and infrastructure development and says it's etched in stone and cannot be rewritten. President Buhari adds that General Gowon is one of the fairest leaders he has ever known and that his adroit handling of the outcome of the civil war through his policy of no victor, no vanquished inspired so many leaders in Africa. He prays God to continue to bless General Gowon with good health and strength in his ongoing spiritual engagements and service to humanity. In the same vein, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and the Northern Governors Forum felicitate with the elder statesman as he celebrates 86 years. They wish him good health and God's grace and divine strength. To sports now, Tottenham and West Ham played a 3-3 draw in EPL Sunday, while the matches between Sheffield United and Fulham, as well as Crystal Palace and Brighton, all ended in 1 draw. Mansi Marcos has other stories in our sports update.
The Handball Federation of Nigeria has released names of 22 club sides that will participate in the 2020 Prudent Energy Handball Premier League. Borno Spiders, Conference Stars of Lokoja, Delta Force of Asaba, Kano Pillars, Plateau Vipers and Safety Shooters of Abuja will compete from October 23 to November 6. Also to compete at the Package B section of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium on the same date but in the women's category are Benue Queens, Desert Queens of Katsina, Imo Grasshoppers and Seaside Babes of Lagos, amongst others. Kenya's Perez Jepchirchir bettered her 1 hour or 5.34 seconds women's only half marathon world record when she took gold in 1 hour or 5.19 seconds during the World Athletics Half Marathon Championships in Gdynia, Poland. The 27-year-old Kenyan first won the race in Cardiff in 2016. Germany's Melat Yesak Kejeta came second in 1 hour or 5.18 seconds, with Yalemzev Ehwalo of Ethiopia placing third in 1 hour or 5.19 seconds. In New Zealand, 46,000 rugby fans watched the All Blacks defeat the Wallabies of Australia 27-7 points at Eden Park in Auckland to maintain an impressive record at the venue, where they have not lost in 44 test matches since 1994. New Zealand looks good to retain the title they have held since 2003, as they now need only one win out of 2 remaining games in the Bledisloe series to be decided in Australia as part of the Tri-Nations tournament. In football, changes to the standard competitive environment in the American Major League Soccer because of the coronavirus means the Supporters' Shield will not be awarded this year. The Supporters' Shield Foundation Board announced the decision in a statement. Sports update, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
And the death has been announced of Felicia Adeshola Runshawe, née Ademosun. She was aged 94 years. Late Felicia Runshawe, fondly called Mama Kaduna, was a prosperous businesswoman who lived and worked in Kaduna State for about 60 years before retiring to live in Lagos, where she passed on in the early hours of Saturday, October the 17th. She survived by her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Among them is the Director General, National Council for Arts and Culture, Otumba Shegun Runshawe. And that ends the news from me. All right, and that ends the news from me. And don't go away. We'll have some commercials before Becky comes back with her baggage.
Bros of the next life. Bros of the life of the next life. Una. Arrange your voice for cash now.
Hola. Shift. Mind yourself. Social distancing, please.
We observe social distance in this house.
Bros, I dey watch you. Maintain your social distance.
You've never done before. Find your first with the best data deals in town. Dial *777#. Glow Unlimited.
We understand the importance of safety, so we ensure it. Introducing I-Made Nose Mask. I-Made Nose Mask is fabricated from synthetic raw materials using spun-bound process and ultrasonic weaving. Firm and adjustable earbands to secure and fit all face size and shape. Our non-woven fabric nose mask is triple layered to filter and protect the wearer from gases, droplets, and pathogens. Keep safe. We will smile again.
In these uncertain times, one thing's certain, we're in this together. So Clean Protect, the antibacterial detergent that removes 99.9% germs while it cleans. Because germ-free clean is the real clean that we all need. Do your best to protect your family. So Clean Protect.
Susu is fine. No, she's not crying, oh. But we are watching cartoon. Ask Grandma, I'm the one that used to take care of Yabo that time. Take your time.
Reliable Data Network.
How did I get here? It all started shortly after I graduated from MSTC, the Model Skills Training Center, with a certificate in ICT. I successfully developed a data management program that has been called the software of the future. Thanks to its success, everyone wants it, and as you can see, now everyone wants me. But I'm not alone. The skills training programs at MSTC are equipping young Nigerians to become the next big success story. Whether it's ICT, mechatronics, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, or culinary studies, a certificate at MSTC is the way of the future. And just like me, there he is. Everyone will want you to.
ITF, developing the nation's human resource. Imagine the joy that fills your heart when you have just given birth. Whatever your size, we got you.
What of the grandmother? Mama, what do you mean, baby?
With our Buy Right chat, you can get the best mattress that goes with your body weight. Don't just buy a mattress, buy a Vitafoam mattress.
The name of the baby is Stella.
Vitafoam, the fine art of living.
There are no small beginnings, only stepping stones to bigger things. That's our philosophy at Premium Pension. And so, no matter the size of your money, our team of expert fund managers invested wisely and actively to make sure your money is always working as hard as you do. After all, the things we're building today can help shape your future in the long run. And with the right partner by your side, the one thing you're sure to do is soar. Premium Pension. Active today, premium tomorrow.
Welcome back. A few weeks ago, we brought you the story of a 15-year-old female hawker allegedly raped and impregnated by a blind man in Chanchaga local government area of Niger State. The traditional head of the visually impaired persons, Malam Rabiu Abdullahi, had accused female hawkers of seducing his subjects, leading to alleged rape cases involving the blind. Mukhtaru Abubakar reports on the latest development.
A few weeks after the gang rape, the good neighborliness between the blind and the members of their host community, which turned sour, translated into physical combat as some members of the community accused one of the blind persons of defaming the character of some female neighbors.
So that fateful day we were outside, one particular blind man, he started giving us some insultive words that, in particular, these women of this house, that they were prostitutes. When we narrated the whole story to our husband, he went to him and asked him, "Come, what is between you and our wives?" He proceeded with the insult that all of us are prostitutes. Somebody that cannot see insulting somebody that sees a prostitute. So with that anger and annoyance, he laid his hand on him.
The traditional head of the blinds in Mina, Malam Rabiu Abdullahi, while confirming the incident, says the case was settled at a police station.
There were quarrels among the women in the neighborhood and some blind persons, but we have settled. I have directed my household to coexist in peace with them.
Malam Rabiu, who requested that the camera be switched off, demonstrated how the female hawkers arouse unsuspecting blind men by touching sensitive parts of their body. He claims that since the case went viral, 92 of his members have relocated to other cities for fear of implication and arrest.
Parents should stop sending their children hawking. We do not invite them. They come and lift our hands to their chest and ask if we are interested.
To avoid reoccurrence of the rape incident in the blind's home, Rabiu Abdullahi said he has banned hawkers from their enclosed home. Meanwhile, the alleged blind and visually impaired rapists Saliu Aliyu and Uzeru Ibrahim have appeared in court for the second time, where Senior Magistrate Paul Aliyu Adama of the Senior Magistrate Court 5 Tunga Mina denied them bail for what he called failure of their counsel to convince the court on why they should be granted bail.
We are here watching brief for the nominal complainant to make sure that we stand for her rights. We participate in the trial by helping the prosecution, but we can't be heard. We are not heard.
The court, however, fixed the 21st of this month for the commencement of hearing and made an order for accelerated hearing.
Let's keep watching out for more updates. The issue is yet to be resolved. Now, a horrifying incident recently played out in a Ekulobia community in Anambra State that has left many outraged. It's about a 32-year-old nursing mother, Ogochukwu Anichukwu, who allegedly bathed her 8-year-old domestic helper, Chiamaka Uwafo, with hot water for daring to consume a small quantity of her baby's milk. Udo Kurunkochukwu, who visited the victim in hospital, reports that her parents are desperately begging the law to step in.
8-year-old Chiamaka Nwafo, who is receiving treatment at the Ekulobia General Hospital, was said to have sustained several degrees of injury inflicted by Mr. and Mrs. Emmanuel and Ogochukwu Anichukwu, the latest of which is the burn injury as a result of hot water poured on her for drinking their infant's milk. The timely intervention of Human Rights Legal Aid Initiative, Ekulobia, and Global Ugweme Women Initiative resulted in little Chiamaka's hospitalization and arrest of the couple.
My advice to parents is that they should please try to bear the children they can cater for. So I advise them not to give their children, especially when they are of tender age.
What we are trying to see by implication is that we need to let justice take its course.
The distressed parents explained that they gave out their fourth child as a house help to the couple, who they said put pressure on them to release their child. 4 months later, they found the story of her abuse on Facebook.
One of my sister just tell us to help her to give the lady out, so that's why we're doing it. Not matter of school fees.
The child, whose body is covered with series of scars, claimed that the couple beat her at the slightest provocation and also denied her food, which explained her protruded stomach, diagnosed by the hospital as a result of malnutrition.
A despicable crime that demands some form of punishment. We'll see how it goes. Now, the spate of rape cases is wreaking havoc on societal norms and values, a situation that requires drastic action. Catering to traumatized victims physically and psychologically translates to giving them a voice and tearing down the stigma. To further this cause, the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, through its newly inaugurated Stand Against Rape and Rapists Project STAR, is raising awareness on the dangers of sexual and domestic violence. Abubakar Usman Akwanga will tell us all we need to know about STAR.
She cries. She cries in anguish and in pain. She bears the scourge of her grief. She toils in vain for justice and succumbs to silence. He gloats over his
The voice of the young lady represents voices of many rape victims who had either given up for justice or are in a long walk to seeking legal and social redress.
It should be an opportunity for people to speak up, to show support for victims of rape. You don't know it if you don't feel it.
Now that I have spoken, you are returning me to my uncle who abused me. What happens to me?
If we were to follow the provisions of the Penal Code and Criminal Code, by sentencing people to life imprisonment, I'm sure it would have served as a deterrent.
For the NTA to take lead in its new campaign, Stand Against Rape and Rapists, I think we have reached the tip of the iceberg.
The broadcast code especially encourages broadcasters in Nigeria to promote the dignity of womanhood.
Now the official launch of the Stand Against Rape and Rapists is to further raise concern on strengthening of existing laws and making reforms to stem the tide of the social pandemic. Breakdown of social values and norms and the departure from the culture of preserving the chastity of a woman and protecting her from hurt is responsible for the deviant practice.
The resurgence of rape cases in recent times, which has affected many women and girls, even infants, has led to a renewed action from stakeholders, including Future Assured Program, my program.
The ministry mobilized wives of the state governors to form a coalition to address the menace of gender-based violence, and especially rape in our country.
Stand Against Rape and Rapists, STAR, is part of our corporate social responsibility to not only garner and drum up support for all efforts to tackle the menace, but to also highlight the socio-cultural enablers and push for reform of the criminal justice system aimed at ensuring that justice is not only served, but served in a timely and efficient manner.
While the Nigerian Television Authority flags the campaign platform for restoring woman dignity and pride as a mother, stakeholders say the tears of pain should not be allowed to go dry before justice is served.
We must all take a stand against rape, and we invite you to join us. Moving on, several weeks ago, we brought you news of a 30-year-old man who was rescued by the Kano State Police Command after 7 years of being locked up by his biological father in the worst place ever. We did promise to bring you an update on this man who almost died from abandonment and torture. Fatima Sanusi Karaye is standing by to tell us what's new.
To take someone's freedom away, not to be able to take the breath of fresh air, to enjoy sunlight, to play or even interact with fellow humans for years is heart-wrenching. But this young man, Namama, lived it. He was denied his freedom for over 7 years. It could be recalled that Namama was kept in solitary confinement by his father and stepmother in a house that is said to be built by his late mother for alleged drug use. NTA News investigation reveals that Namama was locked in an unsanitary space where he will go days without food or water. It was also alleged that sometimes Namama will have to drink his urine when he gets so thirsty. He became so frail, dehydrated, and delusional, on the verge of death when a human rights activist tipped off the police and was rescued. The father at that time claimed that Namama was never left without food or water.
Cannot lock my son, my little son, particular place without food is difficult. Then other people are telling me that it's a spiritual something. It's a spirit. They chop the food when then they give them.
It appears the spirit did not follow Namama to this hospital, where he is currently receiving treatment, as there is a huge difference. He eats, he drinks, and interacts with his social cycle.
I feel strong now. I even take fruits
in this place.
A psychiatrist at Malam Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, Dr. Amir Shehu Ibrahim, explained the dangers of locking someone in solitary confinement for a very long time.
And this is not good. The more somebody stays away from others, the more difficult is it for somebody to become fully rehabilitated and come back to his daily and normal activities. They're supposed to be treated in a humane way, and they're supposed to be brought to the hospital so that they'll receive the proper care.
Although Kano State Police Command said the command will treat it as an intentional act of brutality, the case is stalling.
This is not a case of only wrongful restraint and wrongful confinement, but it is a case of attempted murder.
I'm the one that tipped the police about Namama, but honestly, nothing has been done legally. We don't want his sleepless night in that confinement to go in vain.
For now, Namama said there is nothing he could do but wait patiently for justice to come through for him and hope it does not fail him.
Trust is amazing, and we're happy it's getting better. Moving on, in 2019, tales of how he murdered females in hotel rooms sent shivers down the spines of Nigerians. He was sooner referred to as the Port Harcourt serial killer. When he was finally found and arrested, the world was stunned by his confessions. Now the pendulum of justice has swung against the serial killer, Gracious David West, who sent 11 women to an early grave. Kingsley Amajiri reports that Justice Adolphus Enebili of the Rivers State High Court pronounced that David West would die by hanging.
This at last has been served for at least 10 young ladies who were murdered at different hotels in Port Harcourt, Owerri, and Lagos. The killing then raised wide condemnation across the state.
Women were being killed, girls were being killed here and there. It was even becoming ridiculous that some people were insinuating some spiritual stuff into it. But we thank God, FIDA is happy today.
Luck, however, ran out of the prime suspect when he was arrested on his way to Akwa Ibom State and subsequently arraigned on a 10-count charge for murder. Justice Adolphus Enebili held that the prosecution was able to establish sufficient evidence showing that the prime suspect, Gracious David West, was guilty as charged.
The court agreed with us completely that we proved our case, all the elements of the offense beyond reasonable doubt, as required by law, and agreed with us and found him guilty and sentenced him to die by hanging.
The first defendant still has latitude of avenue to express his right under the Constitution. If we, as lawyers, are briefed to pursue his constitutional right of appeal under our Constitution, that we shall honestly do.
The second accused and manager, Imperial Hotel, Neme Tangod, was, however, discharged and acquitted for want of evidence.
She escaped by the whiskers. Not that the offense with which she was charged was not committed, but that it was difficult to determine who exactly did, as the witnesses who would have ordinarily provided that answer suddenly disappeared from the state.
My client has been vindicated, and we hope that the prosecution, led by the Honorable Attorney General, will not find the courage to challenge this judgment.
If you say he had it coming, you are right. I hope you're enjoying Newsline so far. Let's go on a break. More to come. Keep it here.
Demands of #EndSARS movement. Immediate release of all arrested protesters. Justice for all deceased victims of police brutality and appropriate compensation for their families. Setting up an independent body to oversee the investigation and prosecution of all reports of police misconduct within 10 days. In line with the new Police Act, psychological evaluation and retraining to be confirmed by an independent body of all disbanded SARS officers before they can be redeployed. Increase police salary so that they are adequately compensated for protecting the lives and property of citizens. Federal government's response. On 11th October 2020, the Inspector General of Police dissolved the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, across the 36 states police commands and the Federal Capital Territory. On October 12th, President Muhammadu Buhari addressed the nation, stating the disbanding of SARS is only the first step in our commitment to extensive police reforms. On 13th October 2020, the Inspector General of Police ordered all defunct SARS personnel to report at Force Headquarters, Abuja, for debriefing as well as psychological and medical examination. On 13th October 2020, the Presidential Panel on the Reform of SARS accepted the 5-point demand of the #EndSARS protesters. On 15th October 2020, the National Economic Council, NEC, directed the immediate establishment of state-based judicial panels of inquiry across the country to receive and investigate complaints of police brutality, related extrajudicial killings, with a view to delivering justice for all victims of the dissolved SARS and other police units. State governors should immediately establish state-based special security and human rights committees to be chaired by governors in their states, and to supervise the newly formed police tactical units and all other security agencies located in the state. This will ensure the protection of citizens' human rights. Members will also include representatives of youth and civil society, as well as head of police tactical units in each of the states.
If you run mad, we know waiting cause am. Every time na this phone. Have you gone to buy more units for light? Give me this phone. Ha! They don't finally get you. Enter store, you go see one pink nylon. Bring and come. If you try am. Now that chicken where they use corner look me. Now I want to. That one.
Oh! So now why you send me message when no get with this? Shate. Make yourself begin to enjoy credit and data. Berekete.
Introducing Berekete. Activate a new glow sale and get 600 Naira free credit plus 700% bonus on every recharge and up to 100% bonus on data plans. Find your first with Berekete. Glow Unlimited.
Not all washing powders are the same. Sunlight adds bursts of freshness to cleaning power to give you Sunlight 2-in-1 for sensational cleaning and freshness that lasts. Sunlight 2-in-1 sensational cleaning with burst after burst of freshness. Introducing Sunlight with luxurious oud fragrance.
Discover the new body oil and lotion range from Nivea. Precious Nivea oils meet deeply moisturizing lotion in a rich vanilla or fresh cherry blossom scent. For silky smooth and beautifully glowing skin. New Nivea body oil and lotion awaken your senses.
Taste is key and that's how we communicate. Best nourishment in every scoop. Mama, tasty mama, share the love. We all together. I love my mama. Mama, tasty, nourishing, scoop it. Mama,
Mama, best scoop of tasty nourishment.
Chowder, non-stop. Non-stop chowder. Let's go.
Oh, stop. They are germs. You will fall sick.
Daughter, why don't you stop them?
Mom, stopping the kids from playing stops the learning. That's why we stop the germs.
Indeed, Safeguard fights against germs. Safeguard removes 99% of germs.
Why don't you stop them? We have to stop. Not the kids, but...
Buy 11, get one free. Winning energy for their lunchbox. Buy 11,
get one free. Winning energy for their lunchbox.
18 parishioners of the Catholic Diocese of Abuja have been honored by Pope Francis with papal knight. They were subsequently inducted into the highest rank of knighthood by the Archbishop of Abuja, His Grace Ignatius Kaigama, at a mass attended by friends and family members of the awardees. Kelvin Ewunwaye reports.
The award of Papa Knights are usually made by the Pope on the recommendation of diocesan bishops. These awardees, including Gabriel Agada, chairman of Chida Hotels International and former Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, Dr. Tom Adaba, have been found worthy by serving God and humanity diligently and exemplified themselves in living out the Christian life. The Church is hopeful that the recognition will not only inspire the awardees to do more in the Lord's vineyard, but a motivation for the congregation that those who work for God never go unrewarded by the Almighty.
But those whom you give it to are like a symbol of what everybody is. They represent the rest, whom the Pope has not been brought to know what they are doing.
They will be more energetic in the service of the church. And this will show and bear on their national life, in the citizens of Nigeria. If they are holy in the church, definitely. Whether in the ministry, in the government, in the presidency, in the National Assembly, it will touch and impact positively on their areas of competence.
The happiness among their family members and friends was evident at a lavish reception in their honor.
It's a sort of emulation for the children to also see and then bring themselves close to God.
Mine was just to serve God, to do what He wills at all times, to give the church what I can.
An armor to strengthen one in the fight for righteousness.
4 females were among the awardees who bagged the Dame rank. The honor done them is expected to deepen their relationship with God and be a torchbearer for the church everywhere they go.
Congratulations to the new knights. Nigeria's rich cultural heritage is predicated on the diversity of the people. This was showcased at a fashion exhibition organized to mark Nigeria's 60th independence anniversary celebration. Anthony Forsen takes us through.
North to south, east to west, south-south, back to the middle belt, no part of the country is exempted from this rich show of Nigeria's fashion endowment. If you think it is for the royals and probably male alone, check this out. The legendary Queen Amina of Zaria, the Idomas, South George for women, or the Yoruba women's attire. They are all part of the collection, and this is a Nigerian women's endowment.
What we are seeing here today is how the fashion industry has evolved over the years, pre-colonial days till today. And we are seeing here the way that the different peoples of Nigeria have expressed themselves through their fashion, through what they wear.
If you talk about headgears, they are here on display for the royals and the commoners. This incredible and colorful exhibition takes you on a historical, educative, and informative journey of the people and tribes that make up Nigeria and their unique dress styles. It is fun to look back and assess the cultural settings that makes Nigeria unique.
Which means that even before the white man came, there was been some form of fashion statement by our people. I'm especially, impressed and excited when we got to the royal section, when we saw what the different attire of the different royalties have been, from the north to the west to the southeast to the south-south.
In the words of Bolanle Austin Peters, the exhibition is a departure from the typical static exhibition template, bringing to life some of the mannequins through a 3D mapping technology that animates the costumes, running different fabrics and outfits in a real time.
We have such a rich culture that the tendency to want to copy everything Western, which at times can be detrimental to morals, is something that we should sort of fight against. So this exhibition shows how elegant, how noble our forefathers were in their clothing, in the way the women dressed, in the way the men dressed. The new trend of sagging, the new trend of girls being half naked, those are things that we're trying to disabuse by showcasing our history.
Fashion, which has always been a valuable part of our culture, with its place in Nigeria's history, cannot be ignored. This collaboration, the role of private participation in promoting Nigeria's rich culture, was harped on with a positive response.
For us at EcoBank, we're going to leverage it to support entrepreneurs in the fashion industry. We would also continue to support people in the arts and culture, which speaks to projecting Nigeria globally as a leading culture country.
Nigeria's journey, Circle of Fashion, integrates early 20th century influences on current Nigerian fashion, styles, and trends. Our fashion styles speak to where we are coming from, what language we speak, and how we self-identify.
Nigerians are a fashionable breed. We never hesitate to pull all the stops to look good, especially at social events. This has been a tradition pre and post independence. Uzeze Arure will walk us through the evolution of style in the last 60 years.
Nigeria is a country with diverse tribes, cultures, and traditions bonded by a rich history. Even in diversity, fashion has continually been an important aspect of the Nigerian experience, which is why the Nigerian fashion industry experienced tremendous growth and has made major impact in the fashion world. Before colonialism, Nigeria had a high sense of fashion dipped in modesty.
Before our independence, people dress in traditional attire, made in Nigeria, dyed in indigo.
The record of the Nigerian fashion industry tells the story of designers who garnered recognition through making pieces with local fabrics like adire, ashoke, batik, and more. Folashade Thomas Pham is one of the pioneers of the Nigerian fashion industry way back in the 60s, just when Nigeria gained her independence.
He made a few wedding dresses in ashoke. We call it fu, white ashoke. And you find that even when they do use the Western fabric of lace, they still add the hand-woven fabric to it. But Geliodu, become away.
The 70s was a time of funky fashion, from large afros to loose tops, bell-bottom trousers, and other exaggerated European trends with outrageous block heels.
This is called conductor at that time because the men do this soft fabric that they use to make jacket shirts. They have epaulets on the arms and bogus collars.
Then came the 80s, which changed the dynamics of fashion, with Nigerians reverting to their roots by embracing traditional textiles, side-by-side cosmopolitan attires. The 70s was a combination of the previous decades. Young and old showcased the fusion of indigenous and Western looks with pride. However, the millennium ushered in the dawn of a new era of fashion for Nigerians. This created the present-day fashion that are authentically Nigerian, and they compete on the worldwide platform.
We have this zip here where you could actually unzip
so that the head can go through the outfit, modernized. Back then, we didn't used to have that. Now, the buttons here, which used to be in the middle, we decided to create it by the side here, give it this flavor.
Today, style is still evolving with social media exposure and the Asoebi culture as catalyst for the dominance of the Nigerian designs.
Nigerians have been stylish since 1900. Am I right or am I very right? Moving on, Nigerians in Gombe have demonstrated that a strong bond truly exists among the diverse ethnic groups in that state. Emmanuel Akila reports that ethnic minorities made up of non-indigenes thronged the government house in jubilation and appreciated the uncommon sense of belonging accorded them by the Nuwa Yaya administration.
If you call this a cultural festival, you may not be wrong, because it is a gathering of the non-indigenous ethnic groups in Gombe State to show their solidarity with the Nuwa Yaya administration for the appointment of a non-indigene as special advisor to the governor on inter-community relations. Governor Nuwa Yaya, who went down memory lane to recount the history of unity among the hundreds of ethnic groups in Nigeria, believes that all Nigerians have the right to participate in the affairs of the community where they live without bias.
God has blessed this country abundantly in human resources, in solid mineral resources, in hydrocarbons, and in agricultural resources. We have every reason to be proud of ourselves. We have every reason to accommodate one another, and we have every reason to make sure that we provide the grounds on which our children and great-grandchildren will come and enjoy and have peace and harmonious relationship.
Though all ethnic non-indigenes were invited and are fully represented, the Igbos who traverse the length and breadth of the country to do business are in the fore at this gathering, especially that one of their own is appointed as special advisor to the governor.
The executive governor has not only been a peacemaker in the state alone, but a nationalist who by this single action has skyrocketed his name and his political career throughout the whole country to a nationalist who has what it takes to unite our country as one by appointing our body son as special advisor.
Unity is already here. It's the Igbos that are coming for the solidarity. But now you can see other ethnic groups in their thousands coming out, showing that we are one. And myself being in that portfolio, I think I am enjoying the tremendous support. Everybody is one in Gombe.
These people who have been in Gombe long before the creation of the state in 1996 say they never had it so good than in the present administration.
Nigeria should remain unified. Since our forefathers fought for the unity of the country, I think we should fight to sustain this unity and not to break it up.
The governor of Gombe State, Muhammad Nuwa Yahaya, as Igbo gave him the name, Omudo, one of Ndibo. That means he's the giver of peace. You know, he's a person that gathers people together without any problem.
Speakers at the meeting concluded that in Gombe State, the question of indigene or non-indigene is a matter of theory, but in matters of development and peaceful coexistence, they are one people.
It's true, where there is peace, there is progress. That explains why the non-indigenes are grateful. I'll take a break to enable us to take a few messages. Please don't go away.
The recent genuine concerns and agitations by Nigerians about the excessive use of force and, in some cases, extrajudicial killings and wrongful conduct by men of the Nigerian police force. The disbanding of SARS is only the first step in our commitment to extensive police reform in order to ensure that the primary duty of the police and other law enforcement agencies
remains the protection of lives and livelihoods of our people. We will also ensure that all those responsible for misconduct or wrongful acts are brought to justice. We also deeply regret the loss of life of the young man in Oyo State during the recent demonstrations. I have directed that the circumstances of his death should be thoroughly investigated. Meanwhile, it is important to recognize that the vast majority of men and women of the police force are hardworking and diligent in performing their duties. The few bad eggs should not be allowed to tarnish the image and reputation of the force.
The Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Issa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, cordially invites all stakeholders to Phase 7 of the virtual commissioning of the following completed projects nationwide under the digital economy sector: Emergency Communications Center, Ekiti State; Flag off of National Adopted Village for Smart Agriculture, Ekiti State; School Knowledge Center, Ijakole High School; Emre, Digital Awareness Projects for Public Secondary Schools, Methodist High School, Yaba, Lagos; Digital Awareness Projects for Public Secondary Schools, Bishop Okoye Girls Secondary School, Ukpo, Anambra State. Date 20th October 2020, time 11 a.m. These projects are in line with the priority areas of the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, announcer.
You clean your teeth every morning, but that fresh breath feeling just doesn't last. The answer? Easy. You keep your teeth strong and healthy and give your mouth long-lasting fresh breath with new Oral-B 2-in-1 toothpaste. It helps strengthen your teeth and gives you long-lasting fresh breath.
So fresh, still fresh, and still fresh.
Stay strong, stay fresh. New Oral-B toothpaste for strong teeth and long-lasting fresh breath.
This is my time.
You are not going to spoil it.
This time is precious. Don't let mosquitoes spoil the fun. Relax and enjoy the moments that matter. Use Baygon fast-acting insect killing protection for your home. Baygon, take back your home. S.C. Johnson, a family company.
Oh, see how oily I am. It'll take forever to clean this.
Take it easy, Pan. Your days of endless scrubbing are over. Madame just bought Sunlight dishwashing liquid.
What do you know about a Pan's life?
This advanced formulation has real lemon juice that'll cut through all those stains fast in just one wipe.
Wow, that was fast.
See how easy it is to remove oil in one wipe? Sunlight dishwashing liquid removes oil stains in just one wipe.
Issa too like football on Top Go TV. So they him forget say him be best man for him body wedding. Amaka disappoint her bobo all because of football. Kola and the family supposed come out, but then gas change plans because for this new football season, Go TV get correct football action wey make sense. Get Go TV decoder wey come with 1 month Go TV Max subscription for only 9,500 naira. Go TV, live it, love it.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. Or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
Thanks for staying with us. It's a royal wedding that will be remembered for a long time to come. 3 charming princes, sons of Senator Yusuf Abubakar Yusuf, representing Taraba Central, tied the knots with their brides in Abuja. Najaatu Tijani has the spectacular details.
3 is a charm, and in this wedding tale, the number 3 is prominent. 3 brides for 3 grooms whose nikah or marital rites were performed at An-Nur Mosque, Abuja, by the chief imam. Danjuma, Mukhtar and Mutassim Yusuf, sons of Senator Yusuf Abubakar, representing Taraba Central, were fortunate to have the President of the Senate and other dignitaries as witnesses of the fulfillment of rites according to Islam.
On behalf of the Director General of NTA, Mali Akubu Ibn Mohammed, we wish the couples a happy marriage life, long life, love, peace, and prosperity.
The wedding party could not wait to get to the reception venue where family, friends, and well-wishers shared nuggets for marital bliss.
I feel extremely delighted and happy, and thank God for seeing this day. To have my children, are going into marriage. And I wish them a blessed marriage life, long life and prosperity, and an excellent, family life.
My big advice as a parent is that they should be patient with one another. They should try to understand themselves and play along in the good days and the bad days, because life is full of ups and downs. They should be tolerant of each other.
From the reception hall decked in blue to the friends of the brides dressed in peach, it was an occasion filled with color in anticipation of the new life the couples would be embarking on.
I'm the happiest person today with my younger ones, the siblings. We are happy to witness this special day.
And since it was a triple celebration, can triplets be expected from the union?
Congratulations to the princes and their brides. All the best to them. The joy of the Oyekon and Adegbite families knew no bounds when their children, Princess Adewumi Fadeke Oyekon and Right Reverend Stephen Babatunde Adegbite, were joined in holy matrimony in Lagos. Annie Daniels witnessed the elaborate wedding for Newsline.
So Adegbite at the Methodist Church of Nigeria, Diocese of Ikeja, was a delight. After affirmation by both families and congregation, the couple exchanged marital vows and signed the dotted lines.
Look, thank you. Adewumi Fadeke, to be my lawful wife, to now and to all, from this day forward, for better for worse.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Prelate, Methodist Church of Nigeria, His Eminence Samuel Kanu Uche, in his sermon, admonished the newlywed to live and walk in sincerity and always ready to complement each other.
He's a very nice person and accommodating and friendly. He's a good advisor, a prayer warrior, and I pray for him long life and prosperity.
Behavior, simplicity, understanding, tenacity, hope in God. And once you believe in God, God would certainly answer your prayer.
And I wish them to have a nice children in Jesus' name. May God bless them with all wisdom.
I wish her good luck, successful marriage. So she's my companion.
And I wish them well in all their endeavors.
And I pray that the Lord will help them to live in good
waste all the time, they will continue to grow in wisdom and knowledge of God, and the gates of hell shall not prevail over them.
Afterwards, all roads led to the reception, where guests were treated to assortment of meals with a live band, all to suit the mood of the day.
The Bible says, submit to one another. Not only the husband submitting, not only the wife submitting. The wife is not a slave. The husband is not a boss. So they should submit to one another, love one another.
Congratulations to the bride and groom. One more break before we call it a day on Newsline. Keep it here.
You just won yourself 1 million naira from Hero Lager.
I didn't believe it, but now it's real.
Thank you so much for making me a millionaire.
No, I was not expecting this. It came as a surprise.
I'm very happy. You know, start first person currently.
Hero, thank you. Thank you for making me a millionaire.
Very, very happy. Hero, continue selling.
It's on that note we drop anchor on Newsline. Thanks for your time. I leave you with this. Develop a passion for learning. If you do, you will never cease to grow. Good night and God bless Nigeria.
Immediate release of all arrested protesters, justice for all deceased victims of police brutality, and appropriate compensation for their families, setting up an independent body to oversee the investigation and prosecution of all reports of police misconduct within 10 days. In line with the new Police Act, psychological evaluation and retraining to be confirmed by an independent body of all disbanded SARS officers before they can be redeployed. Increase police salary so that they are adequately compensated for protecting the lives and property of citizens. Federal government's response. On 11th October 2020, the Inspector General of Police dissolved the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, across the 36 states police commands and the Federal Capital Territory. On October 12th, President Muhammadu Buhari addressed the nation, stating, "The disbanding of SARS is only the first step in our commitment to extensive police reforms." On 13th October 2020, the Inspector General of Police ordered all defunct SARS personnel to report at Force Headquarters, Abuja, for debriefing as well as psychological and medical examination. On 13th October 2020, the Presidential Panel on the Reform of SARS accepted the 5-point demand of the #EndSARS protesters. On 15th October 2020, the National Economic Council, NEC, directed the immediate establishment of state-based judicial panels of inquiry across the country to receive and investigate complaints of police brutality, related extrajudicial killings, with a view to delivering justice for all victims of the dissolved SARS and other police units. State governors should immediately establish state-based special security and human rights committees to be chaired by governors in their state, and to supervise the newly formed police tactical units and all other security agencies located in the state.
This will ensure the protection of citizens' human rights. Members will also include representatives of youth and civil society, as well as head of police tactical units in each of the states.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide a company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. Application for iOS or Android. Intelsat 901/332.5 degrees east. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.